In a world where few legacies truly stand the test of time, one man has set out to ensure that his passion and love will echo for generations. As the curtain begins to close on an extraordinary life, TV legend Jay Leno is making sure his final act is one for the history books. Far from being just another celebrity making end-of-life arrangements, Jay's meticulous planning reflects a life lived with purpose, passion, and unyielding love for those who matter most. From boyhood, Jay Leno has found comedy in headlines and ordinary events. He still performs in comedy clubs all throughout the country, even after resigning from presenting The Tonight Show, a job he held for more than 2 decades. Hard effort, tenacity, humor, and a good attitude, all of which have also helped him overcome dyslexia, built his path to success. Unlike many who view scholastic difficulties as a weight, Jay welcomed the challenge. "You're just going to have to work a little harder than the other kids to get the same thing," his mother advised, and it became his compass. This kind of thinking helped him to realize that often the extra work pays off handsomely. Growing up in Andover, Massachusetts during the 1950s and 1960s, Jay was inspired by his industrious parents. Though his father's big, noisy Italian family gave him plenty of material for his future humor, his Scottish mother gave his studies top priority despite her meager formal education. Jay credits encouraging professors with sowing the seeds of his comedy career. Mrs. Hawk, one of his professors, pushed him to jot down the jokes he delivered in the corridors and present them to the class. For the first time in his life, this encounter converted studying into something fun and let him understand he had comedic potential. Early in his career, Jay's will was clearly shown when he traveled from Boston to New York City for auditions. He frequently waited in large queues, sometimes for hours at the Improv, simply to try to get on stage. Jay stayed and moved forward in line while others gave up and departed. His success turned mostly on this tenacity. Understanding he was not suited for a traditional job, Jay concentrated on his strength, telling amusing anecdotes. Starting as a guest host in 1987 and assuming control from Johnny Carson in 1992, he finally became the host of The Tonight Show. Jay never gave up his origins in stand-up comedy, performing about 150 events annually, even with his television fame. Jay has starred in movies, sitcoms, and animated films over his career. He also wrote books, including children's books influenced by his own early life events, and a memoir. His unrelenting work ethic is well known. He usually writes his nightly monologues while working on other projects. For Jay, dyslexia has not been a major obstacle, as he has discovered means to overcome it. He likes cue cards, for example, over teleprompters, since they let him view whole phrases at once. He also learns visually, hence he finds it simpler to follow instructional movies than written instructions. Apart from his humor, Jay Leno is unique in Hollywood since he represents the dyslexic population. His successful narrative reveals that, particularly in show business, being somewhat unique can have advantages. Jay has become a beloved person on and off the screen by turning obstacles into strengths. Like all of our lives, Jay Leno's is not unusual in that it will end. Actually, he is making sure his wife, Mavis Leno, and other loved ones, especially, are looked after following his death. A renowned TV personality, best known for his extended run on NBC's The Tonight Show, he's lately made some significant revisions to his will, altering the money amounts he had put aside for his family members. This choice followed the expression of worries by a court official about the possible insufficient amount Leno intended to leave behind. Jay Leno was named conservator of his wife Mavis, who has been battling Alzheimer's disease earlier this year. The pair has been married for more than 40 years and did not have children. Hence, Jay's main concentration has been on making sure Mavis and their close relatives enjoy good living conditions. New allegations state that Jay just changed his 41-page trust, adding more money for those close to him. In the original will, Jay had set aside $3 million for his nephew Richard Leno and Mavis's brother Ricky Nicholson, who resides next door to the couple. However, following conversations with a court official engaged in Jay's conservatorship petition, it was recommended that this sum might not be sufficient to sufficiently maintain his beneficiaries. Jay expressed these worries and made the decision to leave Richard and Ricky more money, totaling $7 million instead. In Touch got a file documenting this change, which also showed the court official accepted the revised will and trust. The official underlined that, especially considering Mavis's present health issues, the adjustments Jay made were in her best interest. Based on the facts, the filing said that, given the situation, Jay's actions were reasonable and necessary to safeguard both his and Mavis's welfare. Mavis also said she completely trusts Jay to make decisions in her best interest, and she did not object to the petition. Jay's amended estate plan also shows his assets' fate should he die before Mavis. In such a situation, the JDM Foundation, a philanthropic entity Jay founded in 1988, would get a sizable share of his assets. This would include his well-known Leno collection, which features his vast array of motorcycles and cars. According to his will, which Jay Leno wrote, his assets would be split into the Leno Marital Trust should he die before his wife, Mavis. This trust would cover any real estate connected to housing the Leno collection, which comprises his vast assortment of cars and motorcycles. As well, the will guarantees that Mavis, the surviving spouse, would have all income created by the trust, as well as access to the principal for her reasonable support. The trust would be irreversible. Together with the Leno Trust assets, the balance left after taxes would be given to the JDM Foundation following Mavis's death. Beyond merely meeting his wife's needs, Jay Leno's painstaking preparation has included thorough directions for the future of his cherished motorbike and automobile collection. Should both of their deaths occur, Jay has instructed the JDM Foundation to create a private functioning foundation honoring his collection. This basis would be in building a museum to exhibit his vehicles, thereby assuming that his love of motorcycles and cars would inspire others going forward. Jay has already picked the 3 first directors who will supervise the building of the museum in preparation for this initiative. Jay's great connection to his collection and his wish to share it with the world even after he's gone reflect in this forward-thinking approach. Following her Alzheimer's diagnosis, a degenerative illness affecting memory, reasoning, and behavior, Jay earlier this year wanted complete authority over her affairs. Given the degree of the illness, Jay asked for legal power to handle Mavis's medical and financial decisions on her behalf. He said he had handled their money over their 43-year marriage and planned to keep doing so until his death. Once characterizing Mavis as the person you wish you could be during an interview on The Kelly Clarkson Show, Jay has generally talked positively of his marriage to her. Though they have had difficulties, Jay has always thought Mavis to be the perfect match. Jay's passion for cars has never wavered, even in the face of personal hardship, including the 2 horrific accidents he went through in late 2022 and early 2023. Jay, who had third-degree burns in a car fire and several fractured bones in a motorcycle mishap, jokingly pointed out that he was still riding motorcycles and working on vehicles, thereby reflecting his strong will. Jay Leno's last wishes show his continued love for Mavis and his cars, thereby guaranteeing that both will be looked after in his absence. So, that's all the time we had today, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and do hit the bell icon on your way out. See ya!